Alrighty, we should be live. Thank you everyone for tuning in, and we are 30 minutes away from the final race of the season. All of the drivers are already on the grid. The pit lane exit is closed, and the standings on the screen are the starting grid for today. We've got a couple of things to point out here. We've got Charles Leclerc with a 10-place grid penalty. He got knocked from 13th place down into last, but Colapinto is also taking a grid penalty, so he's in 20th. And of course, we have Nico Hulkenberg, who unfortunately yesterday, after qualifying fantastically in 4th place, originally ahead of Max Verstappen, got hit with a 3-place grid penalty for overtaking in the pit lane exit. I'm sure many of you have seen some of the highlights from earlier on. I think when Sebastian Vettel made an overtake in the pit lane entry, you are allowed to make overtakes in the pit lane entry. However, in the pit lane exit, you are not. And I think Nico Hulkenberg forgot that little bit in the rules and made some overtakes in the pit lane exit and was handed with a 3-place grid penalty. It was very, very unfortunate indeed. But we'll wait and see what happens. Maybe he can still go on and score a podium. I'll run you through the race strategy very, very shortly. Someone's car alarm is going off. I don't know if you guys can hear that in the background. But for the past half an hour, someone's car alarm just goes off for I don't know. Anyway, you can't. Some of you can, some of you can't. Okay, I don't know. But point being, we'll run through the race strategy, and we'll get into the race very, very shortly. In fact, it's just turned off now, so it should be fine. Albon as well, he's been penalised, so I'll just run you through why Albon, Leclerc, Colapinto and Hulkenberg have been penalised. I've already said Hulkenberg with a 3-place grid drop for overtaking the pit lane. Then we have both Williams have both taken 5-place grid drops for putting in a new gearbox component. So Albon and Colapinto have been dropped down to 18th and 20th place respectively. Oh, it's just gone off again. All right, it doesn't matter. And then, Charles Leclerc has been given a 10-place grid penalty because he has been because he's got a brand new battery pack. You're only allowed 2 battery packs for the year, and Charles Leclerc took his 3rd one, so that explains why he's been given a 10-place grid penalty. And yeah. Alright, isn't a new rule made by the race director for the race only because overtaking the pit lane happens on most weekends? Maybe it is for maybe this weekend, because this weekend they do have an underground pit lane exit, and it's sort of, it's very narrow, it's a tunnel, and you don't want to really be overtaking there, because if you do come into contact, you'd block the whole pit lane. So maybe it's just for this weekend, but either way, it's not allowed, and Nico Hulkenberg did it, so yeah. Alright, didn't Max overtake in the pit lane exit in Brazil? Max did in qualifying. Yeah, I think it might just be for this weekend then, because the pit lane exit in Abu Dhabi is quite a narrow one. It's underground, it's in a tunnel. So I think the race director must have said for this weekend you're not allowed to do that. And I guess Nico Hulkenberg didn't read the race director's notes in enough detail. Alright. Any information about what tyre Leclerc will use? Well, we'll have a look at what Pirelli say what tyres should be used, and then we'll find out. But folks, we've already got 2,000 people tuned into live stream, which is spectacular. If you haven't hit the like button, be sure to do so. This will be the final race season. I normally say subscribe for the future races, but I will be commentating next year as well. I'll be doing pre-season testing. In fact, I've set up the pre-season testing live stream today. It is a very, very long time away. If we count up the number of days till February 26th, it is 80 days till Formula 1 testing next season. So quite a while, about 10 weeks, 11 weeks without Formula 1. I don't know what I'm going to do with my weekends, but yeah, we'll wait and see what happens. Okay. Why do I smell a Gasly podium? Well, Gasly's been doing fantastically. 5th place for him he was 6th place and then he got promoted, of course, but nonetheless, his form has been fantastic, and he is now well, he has the potential to score a podium. We'll wait and see if the Alpine has the race pace. It definitely had the qualifying pace, so we'll see what he can do. Jack Doohan as well, he'll be starting in 17th place. Pierre Gasly's teammate. Of course, there was quite a big difference between those two drivers, but, you know, Doohan's first race in Formula 1. Gasly's, I'm pretty sure this is a, like, 5th season in Formula 1. Yeah, 5th season, I think. So yeah, I'd expect that kind of difference, and we'll see what Jack Doohan can do, and if he can make it to the end of the race without too many mistakes. Yeah, Lewis Hamilton has had a dreadful weekend. In fact, the last couple of weekends with Mercedes have been absolutely dreadful for him. In the previous 6 rounds, he's been eliminated out of Q1 3 times, and then if you go back the previous 171 rounds before that, so previous 171 races Hamilton has raced with Mercedes, only 3 times has he been eliminated in Q1, and the previous 6 he's been eliminated 3 times. So yeah, a really, really bad stretch and an unfortunate way to end out his time at Mercedes. In fact, we've got some special accommodations made for Hamilton as well. On the final lap of the race, normally, you know, the top 3 drivers park up on the grid, and then they park up on the grid and then they celebrate, of course. But now it's going to be the top 3 drivers and Lewis Hamilton. He's also going to park up on the grid and do his farewell to Mercedes. I mean, it seems a little bit extravagant considering Hamilton will be right back with us in Australia with Ferrari. But, you know, what can you do? He's a 7-time world champion. So we'll see what happens. All right. You should do a weekly F1 news recap during the interseason break. Yeah, I probably could. However, I don't know how much F1 news there would be really over the course of the winter break. So there'll be some transfer news. Maybe, you know, if Perez gets fired at the end of this race, then everyone will be questioning, oh, is it going to be Tsunoda? Is it going to be Lawson? And talking of that, Tsunoda has outqualified Lawson every single time this qualifying this season. So while they've been teammates, Tsunoda's outqualified Lawson 6 times and Lawson's outqualified him 0 times. And while Tsunoda and Danny Rick were teammates, Tsunoda outqualified Daniel Ricciardo 12 times and Daniel Ricciardo only outqualified Tsunoda 6 times. So Tsunoda has been beating his teammates consistently. He's been doing well, and in fact the team principal at RB has also said that Yuki is ready to step up to a faster car now. So, you know, suggestions, you know, some sources would say that Yuki's a prime candidate. Some people would say Lawson is prime candidate. We'll just have to wait and see. Yeah. Oh, still getting adverts. Oh, yeah, let me just disable the adverts there. There we go. Hopefully you guys don't get any more adverts till the end of the stream. And, yeah. All right. We'll be getting donuts as well, most likely. I think we'll be getting donuts from Hamilton, probably donuts from Verstappen, maybe some from Sainz. We'll see. Maybe some from Bottas as well. This could be his last race. You know, he doesn't want to leave Formula 1. He's going to stay with Mercedes as a reserve driver, most likely, if he, you know, doesn't get signed by Red Bull or something like that. Yeah. It's very, very sad to see Valtteri Bottas go, but maybe he'll be back in years to come. All right. What is your prediction for next year's Red Bull and RB seats before we go into the weekend break? Well, I would say that it's going to be Verstappen, Yuki Tsunoda, Liam Lawson, and Isaac Hadjar. They're going to be the 2 drivers for Red Bull and the 2 drivers for RB. Okay. We could have a Bottas win. I mean, Bottas, I think a win is a little bit unlikely. There's going to need a lot of DNFs if he's going to win the race. However, I think points could definitely be on the cards for Bottas. He did fantastically yesterday. In fact, at one point he was up in first place after his lap in quali. So somehow, from somewhere, the Saubers have just, you know, magicked up some pace, and they've somehow got it onto the car. Even seemingly, they haven't even brought any upgrade packages, but their car has just somehow got quicker. And Valtteri Bottas has been pushing to the limit, given that it is potentially his last Formula 1 race. So we'll see if he can score some points. We'll see if Nico Hülkenberg can go and score a podium today. That's top of my wish list. So we shall see if if he can do that. And yeah. All right. How about Colapinto next year? Any chance with RB? Colapinto has been, they were pursuing Colapinto, however, they've stopped pursuing him. I'm not exactly sure the reasons behind that, but I think part of the reasons is Colapinto is still a rookie. He's a little bit crash prone, in the same way that Lawson might be if he does a couple more races. And the thing is, ideally, when you're in a top team and you're going to be in a very close constructors battle, like Mercedes, McLaren, Ferrari, and Red Bull are going to be in next year, it's you don't really want a rookie. I mean, Mercedes will have a rookie. They'll have Kimi Antonelli. It's a bold choice, and it might come to hurt them in the end with the Constructors' Championship. But I think that's Red Bull's sort of thought behind it. Like, we don't want a rookie in the top team when we could, when we have Yuki Tsunoda, or we could sign Valtteri Bottas. So yeah. All right. Oh, iCave Dave, thank you for the donation. £20, very much is appreciated. Thanks for the great season of commentary. Let's go McLaren. Well, McLaren are 1-2, so maybe if they end up that way, get a good start, then they could end up the race in 1-2, and that would be fantastic fashion for them. And once again, thank you very much, Dave, for the donation. It is hugely appreciated. Yeah, and everyone that's donated all season long, it's been a pleasure commentating to you guys, and thank you for the donations. Yeah. All right. Why isn't Charles Leclerc in last place? Because Colapinto's got even more grid penalties than Leclerc has, so that's why Leclerc is starting in 19th. All right. Oh wow, 3,500 people already, and we're still 17 minutes away from the start of the race. Okay, so let's run through the race strategy. What does Pirelli predict the teams are going to do in terms of the strategy? Let's get a quick look. All right, so typically at Abu Dhabi, what we see is a one-stop strategy. And once again, this weekend, it is, this weekend, it is a potential one-stop or a potential two-stop. So a little bit more borderline, because the cars do get faster every year. And every year, as they get faster, they apply more and more load onto the tyres. And more load onto tyres means more tyre wear, and more tyre wear means more pit stops. So this weekend, it is a possibility that the teams could do a one-stop strategy, start on the mediums, then go on to the hards, or you start the race on the mediums, do a stint on the hards, and then do another stint on the hards. Now, of course, that is all dependent on whether the teams have two sets of hard tyres, which are fresh, and it looks like all of the teams do. So, yeah, most teams, Tsunoda and Perez don't have two sets of hard tyres, but everyone else, by the looks of it, does. So they should be good to go. Yeah, folks, also, if you haven't hit the like button, be sure to do so. If you haven't subscribed, hopefully you're going to hit 122k by the end of the stream. All right. How many laps in today's race? We're going to have 58 laps of racing here around Abu Dhabi. The temperature is 31 degrees track temperature, so fairly low, and the sun is still yet to set. So we should be getting a little bit more of a reduction in track temperature. And yeah, so it seems like Pirelli say you're going to do 20 to 25 laps on a set of medium tyres, and then you're going to do the rest of the race on hards. Or you do 15 laps on mediums, and then you do 2 stints of hards in between. So those are the potential options for the drivers doing a two-stop strategy. Right. Yeah, here we go then. They've got a Abu Dhabi. They've got a Etihad A380, I think, flying over the circuit right now. They're playing the national anthem and will be underway for some racing very, very shortly. What time does it start? In 15 minutes time. There's a timer on the right hand side of the screen. All right, ladies and gentlemen, do let me know what your predictions are going to be. I have a feeling we're going to get some spicy action between Max Verstappen and George Russell, given that they are starting only 2 places away from each other. Russell starting in 6th, Verstappen in 4th. That means they're both going to line up on the outsides, on the right-hand side of the grid, and Well, we could see a move from one of them. There's also the potential for Ferrari to win the Constructors this weekend. It could also be McLaren. Ferrari needs to outscore McLaren by 22 points this weekend for them to win the Constructors. It's going to be a very, very big uphill battle because Leclerc's in 19th and McLaren's are currently in 1-2. So we shall wait and see. McLaren's might need a DNF or something if Ferrari are going to win the Constructors. What else is there to talk about? Oh, yes. Lewis Hamilton and George Russell, the two teammates, they've been teammates for 3 years now. If you add up every single point that they have scored as teammates together, both drivers come out to total as 685 points for the two drivers. 685 points for both of them, and we shall wait and see which driver comes out on top and scores more points at the final race of the season. It looks like it will be George Russell, considering Hamilton is starting 10 places behind his teammate. But who knows what can happen? We could have a couple safety cars. We do have a 0% risk of rain, given that we are in a desert. But we shall wait and see what happens. But I can put my money on the fact that it won't rain. I can tell you that for certain. What podium would you prefer? I would like to see Carlos, Lando, and Oscar. Yeah, that'd be a nice podium, wouldn't it? That's currently what the podium is right now. But it'd be nice to see Verstappen end up on the podium, given that he's won the championship. So it'd be, should be good to see him if he can get up onto the podium. But we'll wait and see. I think Verstappen also did have the qualifying pace. Like, if we remember back to yesterday's quali, Verstappen was on provisional pole and he lost 0.2 of a second because of a huge snap of oversteer as he came out the final corner. And if he hadn't got that huge snap of oversteer, he still would have ended up on pole. But he just couldn't hook his second lap up together. I don't know if the temperatures changed or something happened or his warm-up wasn't right. But Verstappen did have the qualifying pace to go for pole. Unfortunately, couldn't get it yesterday. So he's still a threat in today's race. And if he can get an overtake done on Sainz and Piastri at the start, then who knows what will happen going into the later stages of the race. Yeah. All right. Oscar leading into turn number 1. Yeah, we'll see if Lando Norris can maintain the lead from pole position. He's had a couple of mishaps this season, I'd say, from getting pole position and then not leading into turn number 1. But it's papaya rules between the two McLaren teammates. Their aim is to win the Constructors. However, both of their individual aims will also be to win the race, and I'm sure Oscar Piastri will be looking forward to racing his teammate and sending one down the inside if he gets a better start than Lando. All right. 11 minutes away from the start of the race now. And let's wait and see what happens. Further down the grid, we've of course got... I was going to talk about the qualifying head-to-heads. If we have a look at the qualifying head-to-heads, Lewis Hamilton has been... what was I going to say? Lewis Hamilton has been beaten by George Russell 19 times in qualifying this season. George Russell has gone and beaten Hamilton. Yeah, Hamilton's beaten Russell 5 times. Russell has beaten Hamilton 19 times. Quite a big difference in qualifying head-to-heads. If we have a look at between Max Verstappen and Sergio Perez, that's the biggest difference, of course. Verstappen beats Perez 23 times. Perez beats Verstappen 1 time. Bottas outqualifies Zhou 21 times. Zhou outqualifies Bottas 3 times. Norris and Piastri. Norris is much better qualifier than Piastri. 20 times he's outqualified Piastri this season. Their races have been fairly close in terms of race pace, but Norris does seem to have the advantage in qualifying, and because of that, he can carry that through the race and end up scoring more points. In fact, if we look at the points tally between the two teammates, it looks like Lando Norris is on 349 points and Piastri is on 291 points. So there's around about a 60-point gap between the two drivers. And that's solely down to the fact that Norris will qualify better and end up having the same race pace as Piastri, but just because he started further ahead, he'll end up further ahead as well. So Piastri's main aim over the winter will be to improve his qualifying and to make sure that he'll be able to challenge Lando going into Q3 at the start of next season. Okay, if we look at some of the other qualifying head-to-heads, we have got, it was very close between Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz. 14 times Leclerc has outqualified Sainz, and 9 times Sainz has outqualified Leclerc. Who else have we got? Oh yeah, Ocon and Gasly. Ocon's outqualified Gasly 13 times. Gasly's outqualified Ocon 10 times. So both those two drivers are actually the closest matched teammates between the whole grid in terms of outqualifying each other. And yeah, very, very close between those. We'll see what Jack Doohan and Pierre Gasly do next season, but I have a feeling it'll be a bit of a one-sided fight, given that Doohan is a rookie. All right, here we go. We've got the team radios coming through as well. That is fantastic. Will Charles make the Max 2019 Brazil move? Well, we'll wait and see. However, well, of course, Max had the advantage that it was in the rain, and Max is fantastic in the rain, whereas some other drivers aren't as good. And in dry conditions, the drivers are pretty equal and on a level playing field, so it's going to be much, much harder for Leclerc to make his way through the field. But we'll see what he can do. I'm watching an A380 land. Very nice. I think that's the specific A380 that was flying over the circuit just a couple of minutes ago. Okay, shall we do a fastest lap count? Yeah, I will. If we get a couple more fastest laps, like if we see Norris and Piastri trading fastest laps, then we'll do a fastest lap count. But of course, if there's no fastest laps being set, then there's no point. Right, if Leclerc can do a 19th to second in the dry, that would be even more impressive than what Max did in Brazil. Yeah, we've seen a 19th or 20th all the way up into first place or second place in the past, but we've always seen it in wet conditions. I think Seb Vettel did it 2019, started in 19th, ended up in second, but 2019 Germany was a super wet race. Yeah. So we'll see if Charles Leclerc can do it in the dry, but it's going to be a very, very big uphill battle. All right, the radio checks are coming through soon enough, and the drivers will be getting the final checks done by the engineers and getting into their cars very, very soon. Okay, where do you get the F1? Where do you get the live radio transcripts? It's from Multiviewer. I get an AI transcripts all the radios, so sometimes there's a little bit off, but yeah. All right. Did you know that the F1 broadcast in India costs £1? No, I didn't. But that is, I guess that's very nice, isn't it? All right. And let's see, what else have we got to talk about? Yeah, well, we've got the final farewells. Carlos Sainz's farewell at Ferrari, Lewis Hamilton's farewell at Mercedes, Guan Yu Zhou, Valtteri Bottas are both leaving Sauber at the end of the year. And, Sauber's turning into Audi. And then, of course, we have got... I think that's it, isn't it? Yeah. I think those are the farewells that we're getting. Well, I guess Ocon's already left the team actually. So Haas, Hulkenberg and Magnussen are both getting a farewell as well. Hulkenberg's going to Audi, K-Mag's going to Endurance Racing. Colapinto's final race for Williams, but he wasn't really a full-time driver anyway. So yeah, brilliant. Will Bottas retain 9th place? Well, if he's quick enough, then sure. We did see last weekend that the team sort of compromised Bottas' strategy in to try and help Zhou score points, so maybe they'll do the reverse this weekend, compromise Zhou a little bit, and make sure that Valtteri Bottas scores points on his final weekend. Well, his final weekend was Sauber, to say that. We don't know about the final weekend overall. Ocon is out because basically Ocon it was Alpine gave Ocon the choice. Either you race the final race with Alpine and then don't get to do the post-season test with Haas, or you don't do the final race with Alpine, and you do get to do the postseason test with Haas. And Ocon was basically like, well, I want to do the postseason test because I want to get adapted into my new team, meet all my engineers and mechanics and things like that. So yeah, Ocon is doing the postseason test with Haas, and he is not racing for the final race with Alpine. And Jack Doohan, who is his replacement for next year, is taking over one race early. Okay, here we go then, 4 minutes, 5 minutes. Usual reminder, cool the car, and they'll have the formation lap starting very, very soon. Track temperature 33 degrees, air temperature 27 degrees, wind is 6.5 kilometers an hour, not going to be too much of an issue for the drivers. And we are getting underway very, very shortly for the final race of the season here in Abu Dhabi. All right, round number 24 of 24. We've travelled all the way around the world and on every single continent apart from Africa and Antarctica. And we are now in the Middle East, in Abu Dhabi at the Yas Marina Circuit, where we have got 20 cars ready to go racing for the final time this year. The track is 5.2 kilometers long. We're going to have 58 laps of racing, and top speeds approaching 345 kilometers an hour with the assistance of DRS and a slipstream. The track very, very flat, 10 meters elevation over the course of the entire lap. We have the softest tires from Pirelli's range, the C5, the C4 and the C3. The optimum race tire will most likely be the C4 medium tire. However, they're going to need to use the hards if they're going to make it to the end of the race. All right, the sun is getting very, very low in the horizon now. The floodlights will be coming on very, very shortly. And let's take you through the starting grid. We have Franco Colapinto, who joined Williams halfway through the season to replace Logan Sargent. He's done fantastically up until this point. A couple too many crashes, and he is running on some spare parts. But a fantastic debut into Formula One, and he'll be sought after by GM and Cadillac next year when they start picking their drivers. We've got Charles Leclerc with a 10-place grid penalty, unfortunately starting in 19th position after having a new battery pack installed in free practice 1. We've just had the tyre information coming through. Every single driver is starting the race on a set of medium tyres, apart from Lewis Hamilton, who will be on the hards. We have Alex Albon, who's starting in 18th place. He's also been given a 5-place grid penalty for a new gearbox, and he will be, he'll be looking forward to the challenge of Carlos Sainz as a teammate next year at Williams. Jack Doohan, first ever Formula One Grand Prix. He'll be starting in 17th place close to Lewis Hamilton, and we'll wait and see what he can do. But Jack Doohan has been doing so well, so good so far, and his aim for this weekend will just be to finish the race in one piece and not make too many mistakes. And then Lewis Hamilton, after having such a fantastic time at Mercedes for so many years, has won so many races, so many championships. He comes to the final race of his career with Mercedes. He's been with the team for 12 seasons now, 153 podiums, 84 race wins, and 6 drivers' championships. Absolutely fantastic for Lewis Hamilton, and we'll see what he can do for his final race in with Mercedes. We've got Guan Yu Zhou currently in 15th position. He'll be looking for a reserve driver role at Ferrari over the course of the winter break. We'll wait and see if he can get that, but he wants to stay within Formula One. The first Chinese driver that we've had in Formula One, and he's done fantastically alongside Valtteri Bottas, scoring points last weekend, and we'll see if he can score points on the following successive weekend as well. Kevin Magnussen in 14th place. He is currently on 0 penalty points, and I hope he's on a mission to get Nico Hülkenberg a podium, because that would be spectacular. And he's been at Haas 7 out of the 9 seasons they've been at Formula One. Haas only joined the grid in 2016, and ever since then, Kevin Magnussen has been a driver for 7 out of those 9 years. A brilliant, brilliant driver he has been for the Haas team, and he will be sorely, sorely missed. We have Lance Stroll in 13th position with the Aston Martin team. He's been out-qualified by Fernando Alonso quite often this season, and his aim for next season will be to get ready for Adrian Newey to design him a fantastic Formula 1 car for 2026. Liam Lawson also joined Formula 1 halfway through this season, and he has done a fantastic job so far. He's been getting out qualified by Tsunoda in qualifying sessions, but in the race he has been looking fantastic. We'll see if he can keep his seat at RB for next year. The formation lap is underway. Lando Norris makes his way through the first corner, and all of the drivers now warming up those brakes, warming up those engines and tyres for the final race of the season. All right, let's get rid of this race counter. Let's get rid of this text. Then we have Yuki Tsunoda in 11th position, who is looking the most likely candidate to be driving for Red Bull next year after Sergio Perez may be leaving the sport. He's had a season to forget, really, Sergio Perez, getting beaten by Max Verstappen at nearly every single opportunity. And he's a fantastic driver, but however, these past couple of years at Red Bull have not been his best. Valtteri Bottas with his final race for Sauber, and we shall wait and see if he can score some points after his teammates score some points last weekend. Thank you for the donation, Jamlock. Very much is appreciated. And thanks, man. I enjoyed so much throughout 2024. Big love from Japan. Go Yuki. Yeah, we'll see what Yuki can do, and maybe he'll be driving for a Red Bull. But once again, thank you very much for the donation. Then we've got Fernando Alonso in 8th position. He is now just waiting. He's just waiting for Adrian Newey to start joining the Aston Martin team, start designing some upgrades, and hopefully Aston Martin will be right there at the top fighting once again. Nico Hülkenberg unfortunately being hit with a 3-place grid penalty after qualifying in 4th position yesterday for overtaking in the pit lane exit. The race director specifically prohibited it for this weekend because the pit lane exit is a little bit too narrow, but I think Nico Hülkenberg just missed that note and ended up with a 3-place penalty. We'll see if he can score a podium for his final race with Haas. Then we have George Russell in 6th position. He is on 685 points with Lewis Hamilton, as teammates will wait and see what Russell can do and if he can outscore his teammate Lewis Hamilton, who is a 7-time world champion. And next up, Pierre Gasly, who's been on fantastic form all season long. Well, for the second half of the season, I must say. And we shall wait and see if he can score a podium. This might be one of his best opportunities. Max Verstappen, starting in 4th place, currently on 4 world titles. What a drive it has been from this year from Max Verstappen all season long. The drives at the start, just domination after domination, and then extracting every single bit of performance he can from the car. When it hasn't been the fastest, has led him to be the world champion for this year. We've got Carlos Sainz leaving Ferrari at the end of this year, and it's a bit of a bittersweet end, really. Carlos Sainz has done a fantastic job for Ferrari as a driver, and now we'll wait and see if he can score that one final race win. We have the last cars just approaching the grid now, and the 2 McLarens are up in the front. It's a McLaren front row lockout for the final race of the season. They're looking like they're going to win the Constructors, and hopefully next year they are going to win the Drivers. I'm just going to turn on the slow mode on the chat, but all of the the green flag is waving. The lights are turning 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lights, and we have 20,000 horsepower revving away. It's lights out and away we go for the final race in 2024. Someone stalled at the back of the race. Verstappen sends one down the inside of Piastri. Piastri's round, Verstappen's round. Oh my god, Verstappen continues onwards, and Piastri has been spun round from this race and goes into dead last. Max Verstappen is also lost places. Sainz is in 2nd. Gasly is in 3rd as they head towards turn number 1. Norris has got a huge lead. 1.6 seconds is the lead that Norris has got off that race start, and Verstappen just sent one way too aggressive down the inside, and they collided, and huge contact there. Oh my goodness me, and who is this up? It's Nico Hülkenberg, sends one down the inside of Sergio Perez. What a move from Kevin Magnussen, and K-Mag's up into 7th place. Great start from him, and another spin from the Red Bull. Sergio Perez has been spun round via contact with Kevin Magnussen. Oh my goodness me, not a great start there for Red Bull. Verstappen down into 11th, losing 7 positions. Perez down into 19th, losing 9 positions. Ooh, what an eventful race start, and the top 3 currently are Lando Norris, Carlos Sainz and Pierre Gasly. Nico Hülkenberg's in 5th place, folks. Don't count him out. Stroll's up into 9th. He gets past Liam Lawson on the inside of turn number 9. Great move there from Lance Stroll. Doohan also overtakes Tsunoda. Both AlphaTauris getting overtaken in the final sector of the track, and yeah, I would just like to talk you through what happened at the race start. Max Verstappen got a fantastic race start. Someone stalled at the back of the grid, I'm pretty sure. Someone was going so slowly. Did someone stall, or I don't know. But anyway, Verstappen sent one down the inside. Contact with Piastri. Both drivers spin around, but Verstappen manages to do a perfect 180 and keep going onto the track. I mean, it's absolutely crazy. Also, Charles Leclerc. Leclerc's up 11 places. Oh my goodness me. We've got a yellow flag out. Who is that stopped on the side of the track? No, it's Sergio Perez. Perez is stopped on the side of the track. There must be some sort of issue, and the yellow flag's out, and that's got to be a virtual safety car. I think Verstappen sends one down the inside. The virtual safety car's been deployed. Is he going to be ahead of Lawson, or is he going to be behind? I'm not sure. Virtual safety car is out though, and the race has been neutralized. Ferrari could this is looking good for Ferrari in the Constructors' Championship. Perez has parked up to next to an escape road, and he ends his season early with Red Bull. They push the car back into the onto the edge of the circuit, and will be going racing very, very shortly. Wow, okay, so Perez is out, Piastri's down into last place, so McLaren are going to gain, okay, McLaren's going to get 25, if it stays like this, actually, you know, I'll just calculate it later on, because it's a little bit too unpredictable now. I'm sure Leclerc's going to gain some places as well, but now it's all down to Oscar Piastri. If McLaren want to win this Constructors, it's down in his hands, because Norris is up in first place, he can't score any more points. It's Piastri's job now to catch up to the top of the pack. Alright, it was Yuki that stalled. I don't know how Yuki stalled. I mean, if Doohan stalled, I would have expected it, because Doohan, rookie driver, doesn't want to get too much wheel spin off the race start, but Yuki somehow stalled off the race start, and lost 6 places. Bottas as well, losing 4 places off the race start, not ideal for him. Wow. All right. We've got 23,000 people tuned in, 24,000 people tuned into live stream. Thank you everyone for tuning in. If you haven't hit the like button, please be sure to do so. It hugely helps out the channel. It basically just tells the YouTube algorithm like, oh, this is a fantastic live stream, and I'm going to recommend it to everyone now. So yeah, if you haven't hit the like button, be sure to do so. But yeah, here we are underway. VSC is ending, folks. VSC is ending. We've just got the message from race control, and the lights will turn green. There we go. Green flag is out. DRS has been enabled, and we are racing once again. Look at that lead up at the front. 4.5 seconds there for Lando Norris, and George Russell is getting extremely racy here with Pierre Gasly. Russell to the outside, Gasly to the inside. They go into turn number 9. Russell swoops around the outside, but Gasly brakes so late. What a move from Pierre Gasly, holding on to that 3rd place with everything that he can, and fantastic defensive work. Piastri's already making quick work of Colapinto, up 1 place already, and next up is Jack Doohan on his overtaking list. Right, fantastic. We're going to have a very big DRS train here. As you can see, Carlos Sainz in 2nd place will be leading a big old DRS train from him all the way down into 9th and 10th, maybe. A fastest lap of the race from him, and then it goes to Hülkenberg, then it goes to Alonso, and the times are all tumbling as the VSC has ended. Colapinto, though, has some sort of damage. He's driving slowly. I don't know what's happened here. Let me just get the replay. Oh, Piastri drives into the back of Colapinto. So this is Colapinto brakes a little bit early. Piastri isn't expecting it, and I think Colapinto must have got a puncture from that, and Piastri had a pretty severe flat spot as well. All right, so Piastri might have to come in to change his front wing. His front wing's okay. It's just come over the radio. Nose box is okay. Front wing is okay for Piastri. So everything seems to be well. He'll have a bit of a vibration because of a flat spot, but that is manageable. Colapinto, I think he's driving into the pits. A puncture for him, unfortunately, after Piastri drives into the back of him. Not great there, and it's currently in Max Verstappen and Oscar Piastri at the start of the race. They are under investigation, so we'll see what the FIA do about that. Right, here we go. Small recap of what happened. Contact between... so Yuki Tsunoda stalled off the race start. Contact between Verstappen and Piastri. Both of them lose loads of places. Contact between someone and Perez. I think it's K-Mag and Perez. Perez spins around, and then for some reason the car just stops working, and he DNFs from the race. And Piastri drives into the back of Colapinto, causing a bit of a crash, and Colapinto with a puncture comes out on hard tyres. They've come over the radio to Piastri to say box, box. Yeah, they're boxing this lap for Oscar Piastri. He's having, I guess, his front wing, or he's got some sort of puncture or too much vibrations. I don't know what's going on. Oh, it's Bottas and Perez, sorry, who had a collision. It wasn't K-Mag and Perez, it was Bottas. But Piastri's into the pits. This is not good for McLaren's championship's hopes here. He comes into the pits. They don't change the front wing. They do change the tyres. It's an exceedingly long pit stop as well. 4 and a bit seconds. 4.4 seconds for Oscar Piastri. And, well, now look at that. He is going to be 60 seconds behind the leaders. And, or 40 seconds behind the leaders, sorry. And with a lot of work to do. Is Sainz going to catch up to Norris as well? Fastest lap of the race here from Carlos Sainz. I think we're going to have to do a fastest lap counter as well. Just because, well, I have a feeling Carlos Sainz is going to be setting a lot of those. A 10-second time penalty, folks, has been given to Max Verstappen for causing a collision. So Max Verstappen now currently in 10th place. When he comes into the pits, he's going to have to serve a 10-second penalty. Oh, if Norris wins, no matter what, McLaren are champions. Fair enough. I think that checks out in terms of the maths. So we'll see. Well, yeah. But we'll see. There's still 53 laps of racing left to go. So we'll see if if Norris wins the race. Right, 1 fastest laps there for Carlos Sainz, and then we'll keep adding some more. A 10-second time penalty for Valtteri Bottas as well, for him causing a collision. Bottas had a collision with Perez. That has given him a 10-second time penalty. All right, the FIA giving out penalties pretty quickly, pretty straightforward from them, really. Why did Perez DNF? Some issue with his car. I think he just it just stopped working after he spun and then restarted. Yeah, Piastri. Piastri over the radio says, "Yep, move of a world champion." That one. Piastri is not pleased whatsoever, and he's just like, "Oh, move of a world champion." So typical of Max Verstappen. And yeah, throwing some shade there is Oscar Piastri, and he's down in 18th position. Verstappen goes up into 9th, and the two Sauber drivers swap down. Bottas in 14th, there's Zhou up in 13th. Hamilton making some progress up the field, 4 places gained for him. And I mean, it was a bit of a pointless move from Max. Like, there was no need to send it one so far down the inside. And to be fair, I don't think he was really making that corner. Like, I'll have to watch the replays to make sure before I say anything for certain. But yeah, it was a bit of a pointless lunge. Like, he would have overtaken Piastri anyway, I'm sure. But yeah, Bottas did spin around. Did spin around Sergio Perez, and that's a 10-second penalty for him. Right. Okay, so if we have a look at the gaps here, George Russell still unable to overtake Pierre Gasly. Gasly doing a fantastic job of defending. K-Mag gets overtaken there by Charles Leclerc. In fact, K-Mag re-overtakes Charles Leclerc as they go back down into turn number 6. No, Leclerc gets that move done properly, brakes super duper late, and K-Mag can't really fight that one. Fastest lap of the race there from Oscar Piastri. Nicely done. I'll add that onto the list shortly. Bottas came into the pits. He's served his 10-second penalty, put on a new front wing, I think, and has come out on a set of hard tyres. The sun is starting to set now, so the drivers are going to have to get used to the visibility and them just getting totally blinded while they're driving through the final sector. But their visors, their helmet visors will have enough of a tint, so they should be able to still see. And Gasly's doing fantastic driving, still staying up there in third, and Hulkenberg as well, staying on the back of Russell, and Alonso staying on the back of Hulkenberg. So Charles Leclerc now up into 7th position. Right. They come over the radio to Piastri saying Verstappen has been given a 10-second time penalty. Piastri just says good. He says nothing else, just good. Fantastic there from Piastri. Love that from him. Right. Here we go then. Lap number 8 of 58. We'll see what the strategies the teams are doing as well. If they start pitting lap number 15, lap number 15, 16, 17, then it could be a 2-stop strategy. If they pit around lap number 25 or so, then it's going to be a 1-stop. Yeah. Oh, Tim Sin, thank you for the donation. 20 Canadian dollars. Thanks for this year's fantastic commentary. Can't wait for 2025. Thank you very much, Tim. And yeah, can't wait for 2025 as well. I mean, the racing is going to be so good with so many teams so close to each other. I think if you were watching qualifying yesterday, we were having the closest qualifying in Q1. Like, the drivers were within 1 second of each other from 1st to 20th place. It was ridiculously close. And next season's going to be even better. So thank you very much for the donation. And I'm very glad that you've enjoyed the commentary. Right, I'm going to add on Piastri into the fastest laps thing. Piastri FL1. There we go. Right. Yeah. We have got... Oh, Lando Norris has set one now. Okay, well, I guess it's... I guess now I need to add one for Norris. Right, one of the moderators might have to keep track of what is going on in terms of fast laps. I don't think I'm going to remember every single one, but I'll do my best. Right. Oh, I should also put FL for Norris. I don't know why I forgot that. But yes, the drivers, it looks like over the team radios that they've started conserving their tyres. Oh, a 10-second penalty for Piastri. Oh, damn. I mean, to be fair, that's fair enough. He ended up causing Colapinto to have a puncture. So, yeah, Piastri's been handed a 10-second time penalty for causing a collision. That was under investigation between him and Colapinto. Yeah, Piastri got caught out by the fact that Colapinto braked early, and a 10-second time penalty has come his way. Leclerc's within DRS of Alonso now, and Verstappen's within DRS of K-Mag. Here comes Max Verstappen down the inside at turn number 9, and K-Mag can't really do much about that. So Verstappen now up into 8th position. Right. Yeah, and as Piastri would say, he would say good to himself as well. But yeah, Colapinto has had his race ruined. I mean, look at that. We're on lap number 10 and Colapinto's about to get lapped. So I think that's fair enough that Piastri's been given a 10-second time penalty, but he's got a... Yeah, if Norris loses this first place through whatever thing, like if Sainz undercuts him or whatever happens, then McLaren's Constructors is severely under threat right now. All right. The best corners to overtake on this track, turn number 6 and turn number 9. Those are prime overtaking opportunities. Just where Colapinto's going to now and where Bottas is. Colapinto's at turn 6, Bottas at turn 9. Those are the overtaking opportunities the drivers are looking for. Leclerc now, he's got DRS on Fernando Alonso. We know the Aston isn't that quick in a straight line. Leclerc opens the DRS, looks to the inside, and as they head towards turn number 6, Leclerc is already 50 meters ahead of Fernando Alonso, and there's nothing that Alonso can do, not even his super late braking and defensive work can get him to hold on to that place. All right. Exoteric, thank you for the donation. I was looking at Max Verstappen steering wheel, but I can't find the bumper car mode toggle, but I'm sure it's there. Thank you very much for the donation, Exoteric. And yeah, Max Verstappen at turn number 1, it was, I don't know if he misjudged his braking point maybe or something like that, but yeah, it looked like he was going bumper car racing, to say the least. It's a pretty funny one though. All right. Verstappen will now be trying to overtake Alonso, and Leclerc now, his aim is to catch up to Nico Hulkenberg and to get an overtake done. And we'll see what happens there. Right. Let me know what your predictions are, folks. Who do you think will be winning the race? Yeah, Fernando Alonso was really pushing that Aston to the limit. In fact, he exceeded track limits. Oh no, quite extravagantly as at turn number 1, just trying to stay ahead of Leclerc, but yeah, just to no avail really. The DRS power down the main straight is just unparalleled, and I think Leclerc was using a bit of overtake mode as well. Yeah, Leclerc's now within DRS range of Hulkenberg as they go towards turn number 6. He's a little bit too far back now, but into turn number 9, that could be a good opportunity for them. Alpine are gaining 15 points in the Constructors if it stays this way, with Gasly in 15th place, and with Hulkenberg and K-Mag in 5th and 9th, Haas are going to be gaining 12 points. So that means that Alpine will take 6th place in the Constructors if it stays this way. So we'll see what happens there. Lawson now tries to overtake Lewis Hamilton as they go into turn number 9. Lawson swoops round the outside of Lewis Hamilton. A fantastic move there, and gets that overtake done. Brilliant job there from Liam Lawson. However, I think it's a little bit too late for him, considering that he's been out-qualified by Tsunoda 6 times every single race that that Lawson has been in. He's been out-qualified by Tsunoda, so maybe that Red Bull seat is going to Tsunoda regardless of if Lawson can score some points or not. Why is Colapinto so slow? Colapinto's just really far at the back because he got a puncture early on in the race. And thank you for the donation, W. Aryabada. I'm not even going to try and pronounce your name, but thank you very much. Aradhe. Yeah, thank you for the donation though. Yeah, apologies for not being able to pronounce your name. Very much is appreciated. Okay. It's Nico Hulkenberg defending against Charles Leclerc here. Very nice defensive work from Nico Hulkenberg. He knows that realistically he's going to lose the position soon enough, but why not make it a little bit of a fight for the Ferrari driver? They're both in Ferrari-powered cars. We've got Max Verstappen trying to overtake Fernando Alonso. Can he get that one done? Well, Leclerc gets the overtake done on Hulkenberg, pushes Hulkenberg a little bit onto the curbs, but a fair move there from Leclerc, and Max Verstappen also gets the overtake done on Alonso. Hamilton once again re-overtakes Liam Lawson going into turn number 9, and Hamilton's up into 10th place, and Hamilton's on the hard tyres as well. You've got to keep that in mind. Hamilton's on the much slower hard tyres compared to everyone else who is on the mediums, and if the drivers are coming in to do a one-stop strategy, the pit window is around about open now, so yeah, if anyone comes into the pits now, we know for certain they will be doing a one-stop. Alex Albon has been noted for a false start. K-Mag's into the pits, so it looks like K-Mag's doing a one-stop there. Albon's been noted for a false start. I think that might just be a 5-second time penalty for Alex Albon. I don't know if much can be done there. We'll get a replay soon enough. But a little bit of a slow pit stop. They were having some issues at the right rear there for Kevin Magnussen, unfortunately, and that's definitely not going to help him out. Magnussen, a 7.2 second pit stop for him, and Zhou just manages to get out ahead of Alex Albon. It seems like the lower teams are going for a 2-stop because well, it seems like their tyre wear isn't as good as some of the top teams, so we'll wait and see how that works out for them. George does have DRS on Gasly. I mean, he's had DRS for quite a while, but George still unable to get close to Gasly. Fantastic pace from Gasly in the Alpine. The Alpine 15 horsepower down, but somehow, from somewhere, their aerodynamics is just brilliant, and he can still put up a fight against against George Russell. Alexander Albon sends one down the inside of Valtteri Bottas with the assistance of DRS and Slipstream. A fairly standard overtake for him. However, Bottas is going to come right back at him as they go to... Oh, no, sorry, it's not Bottas, it's Guan Yu Zhou. Zhou is going to come right back at him towards turn number 9. And full overtake is available. That's the message over the radio there for Guan Yu Zhou. He sends one to the inside, and he's just a little bit too far back to get that move done. Hulkenberg and Alonso into the pits. It looks like they are definitely doing two-stop strategies today, and we'll see if Carlos Sainz comes into the pits, tries to undercut Lando Norris. This is some big brain thinking here. Norris is going to encounter Colapinto in probably a lap or two, not long now. Like, if you look at the gaps between the drivers, Norris is lapping 1 second faster than Colapinto. So if Sainz comes into the pits and Norris gets held up by Colapinto as traffic, then that could mean Sainz undercuts Lando Norris. This is some big brain strategy from me here, and I think that's what they should do. Sainz should come into the pits soon enough, try to undercut Lando Norris. Thank you very much for the donation, Elman. Very much is appreciated. You should all press the like button. I also agree with that, folks. If you haven't hit the like button, be sure to do so. All right, 30,000 people watching. We've got George Russell. He tries to go around the outside of Gasly. Gasly brakes super duper late. Russell tries to get the switchback, but turn number 9 is just too long of a corner to get a switchback done. And fantastic defensive work there from Pierre Gasly. Oh, we've got so many donations coming in. Exoteric. Thank you for another $10 donation. Is that Oprah there? Because I keep hearing you get a penalty, you get a penalty, and you get a penalty. Yeah, everyone has been getting penalties coming their way. I'll confirm what happens to Alex Albon. Gasly dives into the pits, Russell up into 3rd place, and Future World Machines, thank you for the £5 donation as well. Yeah, Gasly's into the pits then, and it looks like he's doing a 1-stop as well. Colapinto, yeah, see, Norris is now right up there with Colapinto. It would have been perfect to pit Sainz on the previous lap, because Colapinto gets out the way now. You've lost your opportunity, Ferrari, and Colapinto's got out the way. So that is that. Right. The first set of pit stops have come through. We'll see if the remaining top 9 drivers also come into the pits as well. Okay. Okie dokes, here we are, lap number 15 of 58. 44 laps left to go. And Pierre Gasly here, he's got DRS off his teammate. He's also, he's gaining quite a bit of lap time here, and his aim will be to try and undercut George Russell and gain some time on him, and also to try and get ahead of Carlos Sainz. 5-second penalty has been given to Guan Yu Zhou for a false start. Zhou must have jumped the start or something. The lights were on for quite a while, so I see why some of the drivers did jump the start. Yeah, so Zhou's been given a 5-second penalty. We'll see what happens there. And well, he'll just have to come into the pits really and serve it. So on his next pit stop, Leclerc's also catching up to the back of Russell here, and Russell might be getting under pressure from Leclerc, and if that causes him too much loss of time, then Gasly can definitely be sure that he'll keep that 3rd place. Okay. Right, let me unpin this message. Right, here we go then. They should be getting blue flags for Colapinto. Yeah, Colapinto gets out of the way nicely, and we'll keep an eye out on who's coming into the pits. There's no further investigation on Alex Albon. It seemed like he did a false start, but then apparently he hasn't. So no penalty for Alex Albon has been given. Zhou, however, did get a 5-place penalty. Not a 5-place, a 5-second penalty for a false start. Kevin Magnussen within DRS of Stroll, and Stroll within DRS of Piastri. Piastri's, he should be setting his sights forward, trying to overtake Alonso and Hulkenberg, but yeah, he's still got, actually, to be fair, he hasn't lost all that much time. Like, he would have had a bit of a slow pit stop, but he was lapping some pretty fast laps, so I wouldn't count him out, really. Yeah, all right. What are they saying over to Norris? They ask Lando Norris, how are the tyres? Norris says, yeah, okay, like struggling a tiny bit more than what it was, but they seem to be maintaining right now. So Norris is still hopeful that he can continue on with these tyres, and we'll wait and see. Gasly, though, this is critical now that he overtakes Yuki Tsunoda. If he can't get the overtake done on Tsunoda, he'll lose the place to George Russell as well. So as they come out the final corner, his aim now is to get the overtake done on Yuki going into turn number 6. The drivers lose 22 seconds in the pits when they come into for a pit stop. 22 seconds plus however long your pit stop is. So yeah, that'll be around about 24 seconds, 25 seconds for them. Okie dokes. Look at that fastest first sector there from George Russell. Looks like he's really attacking. He does not want to get undercut by Pierre Gasly. Leclerc's within DRS range now as well. FL means fastest lap. Gasly sends one to the inside. Yuki Tsunoda defending super duper hard. And Gasly brakes really, really late. He's on hard tyres as well, which makes it a little bit harder. But he gets fantastic traction out of turn number 6, and Yuki Tsunoda is going to try and re-overtake him going into turn number 9. Tsunoda's got the DRS on this occasion. He looks to the inside, and he sends one down the inside. Gasly with the hards. He goes around the outside. What a move from Pierre Gasly. Tsunoda gives him just enough room, and a brilliant overtaking from them. And round the outside from Pierre Gasly at turn number 9. Look at that corner. It's a huge 180-degree corner at 5th gear that the drivers take, and Gasly has the guts to go around the outside. Simply brilliant. With that purple first sector that George Russell set, Leclerc dipped out of DRS range as well. That's not going to help him out. I don't know how much battery that Leclerc's got left, but he's been using quite a bit to catch up to George Russell, and he's also got to overtake him soon enough if Ferrari want to win the Constructors. But some fantastic progress from Leclerc. Started the race in 19th place up into 4th place, and he's only at second back from George Russell. Once all the pit stops come through, Gasly will be in 3rd place, but that still puts Leclerc in net P5 after starting in 19th, which is simply brilliant. A fantastic race start. Honestly, I'm going to watch the replay of Leclerc on his race start, because he must have gained so many places. Alonso purple in the first sector, and he's making life a little bit difficult here for Piastri to get that overtake done. Leclerc is in a Leclerc could actually undercut George Russell here, or he could just overtake him on the track. We'll wait and see what happens. Will Max's penalty be applied at the end of the race, or during the pit stop? It'll be during the pit stop. Any of the drivers who've been given penalties, they've all will be serving them in the pit stops. Lance Stroll has been given a black and white flag for exceeding track limits. Stroll's had his work cut out for him, really, with K-Mag behind him. He's been pushing very hard, exceeded track limits just a few too many times at turn number 1, and now has been given a black and white flag. One more track limit extension, and that'll be a 5-place penalty for... not a 5-place penalty, a 5-second penalty for Lance Stroll. Piastri has not served his penalty. Piastri came into the pits before he got given his penalty. So at his next pit stop, Piastri will have to serve a 10-second time penalty, which is going to take a while, really. Right. It's still interesting. We're on lap number 19. This is approaching the pit window for the drivers doing a one-stop. If they can get to lap number 25, then they can do a one-stop strategy. So it looks like the teams at the top, the drivers at the top, are going for a one-stop. Leclerc now within DRS of George Russell. As they barrel their way down towards turn number 9, 330 Ks for both of them. And... unfortunately, he can't get that one done. Hülkenberg, however, can overtake Yuki Tsunoda. Brilliant job there from Hülkenberg. And Tsunoda, unfortunately, losing places to Gasly on the previous lap, and now losing one to Hülkenberg as well. He tries to re-overtake Hülkenberg just like he did to Pierre Gasly, but he's a little bit too far back and just couldn't get the traction and the power down out of turn number 7. Okay. Oh, the Code Monster, thank you for being a member. I will shout out all my Patreon members soon enough. There's just been so much action. The Ferrari pit crew already. Is it going to be Sainz coming into the pits? Is it going to be Leclerc? I'll have to keep out on the radio. Oh, they say stay out to Leclerc. They were saying box opposite Mercedes, and then they also said stay out. What are they... Ferrari, do you understand what that means? I don't know, but they've told Leclerc to stay out. It seems like they're recalculating the strategy. However, I think an undercut right now is the most potent thing that they could do. I guess it's a little bit of a dummy, but he needs to come into the pits because... the thing is, if he comes into the pits now, he might not be able to pull off a one-stop. 39 laps on hard tyres is going to be tough. And Russell could extend his tyres out to lap number 25, and then do the rest of the race on hards, whereas Leclerc may be stuck doing a two-stop in that case. So I think that's why they are telling him to stay out. But we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see what happens. Right, we are just watching the replay here on Tsunoda, and yes, Tsunoda was the one that stalled at the back. It was very fast reflexes from everyone behind him, and Tsunoda says, "I lost the clutch, man. I don't think I did anything wrong, to be honest." I mean, I don't know. It's a racing driver immediately after stalling. Maybe they just did do something wrong and don't want to admit it. But it also could be that there was something wrong with the clutch. We'll never know, unfortunately. All right, Charles Leclerc does come into the pits finally, and they've got the hard tires ready, waiting for him. So there we go. Leclerc into the pits. He's going to try and undercut George Russell. All right, is this going to be a quick pit stop from Ferrari? The fastest pit stop we've had all season long, 1.9 seconds from the Red Bull crew. From Ferrari, a 2.7 second pit stop for Charles Leclerc. Will be making his way out onto the track and hopefully in some clean air. I think he'll come out just behind Nico Hülkenberg, I think. Yeah, just behind Nico Hülkenberg by the looks of it. Oh, just ahead of Nico Hülkenberg. Nice timing there from the Ferrari crew. They get out just ahead, and he's got a little bit of clean air before he catches up to Gasly. All right. Yeah, all right. We've got a little bit of a lull in the action. Hülkenberg tries to... Well, he's got DRS on Leclerc, but I don't think it's... I don't think he'll get that one done, really. I'll quickly read out all of our Patreon members. Yeah, so I've got Stefan, Tomaha46, The Code Monster, Matt, Andrew Eastwood, Andrew N, Shush, Exoteric, Tragic Fun, Alfie, and AJ. Thank you very much all for being Patreon members and supporting the channel, and, and Giuseppe as well. Very much is appreciated, and you guys are the reason I've got a professional mic and a decent streaming setup. So yeah, glad you do enjoy the coverage. We're on lap number 22 of 58, 37 laps remaining. We've got 33,000 people watching the live stream, which is incredible. Thank you everyone for tuning in, and if you haven't hit the like button, be sure to do so. Hopefully we can hit 5,000 likes. That would be incredible. All right, I'm going to have a quick sip of water, otherwise my throat's going to start hurting, and we'll have a couple more pit stops happening soon enough. I think now, though, when the drivers come into the pits, it will most likely be a one-stop strategy. Leclerc is very much on the borderline. He's going to have to hope for a safety car or something, which means that he'll be able to conserve his tyres a little bit more, but it's going to be a very long race on those hard tyres for Charles Leclerc if he's going to go to the end. All right. Piastri's currently in 13th place. He is... yeah, he's catching up to... Well, actually, he's not catching up to Alonso. The gap was previously 1 second. Now it's up to 1.8. So Piastri's stuck a little bit here because Alonso's on fresh, hard tyres and Piastri's on slightly older ones. So... yeah, not ideal. Oh, Exoteric, thank you for donating a couple more memberships. Hugely appreciated. And Tsunoda's been told to stay out, and then Tsunoda asked why. So Tsunoda's clearly not very pleased with the whole situation. He wants to come into the pits. He's been getting overtaken quite a bit. But I guess they're going for a one-stop strategy. I think that's what it's for. Right. Yeah, lap number 23 of 58. Stroll still on a black and white flag. One more track limit extension for Stroll, and he exceeds track limits there. Jack Doohan and Fernando Alonso having a nice over... Actually, no. Doohan comes into the pits, actually. And Alonso just gets ahead. Up into 10th place for Alonso. Tsunoda and Doohan both into the pits now. Lap number 23. They can go to the end on hard tyres now. 36 laps is doable according to Pirelli. Russell comes over the radio saying, I can't maintain this pace. He's doing 129.8. Carlos Sainz ahead of him is doing 128.9s. Nearly a full second faster is Carlos Sainz. And... yeah, George Russell still struggling to maintain pace. It seems like the tyre wear on the Mercs isn't all that great. Hamilton on those hard tyres, he's up a bunch of places, but he's still yet to do his pit stop. All right, I guess Hamilton will be hoping for a nicely timed safety car to help him out and come into the pits under the safety car. That'll be very nice, of course. Leclerc up into 7th place. He gets ahead of Lawson. And now this is net race lead here, net third place. It's Charles Leclerc versus Pierre Gasly as they go into turn number 12. Leclerc looks to the inside. Super bold move there. But this is for net third place. Once everyone comes through into the pits and everything gets filtered out, Pierre Gasly versus Charles Leclerc for the podium. And here they go. The gap between the drivers is 0.8 of a second. We have Lawson dive into the pit lane. And yeah, just the top 5 now yet to come into the pits. Everyone else has done their pit stop. Okie dokes. If Ferrari are 1-2, will they? If Ferrari are 2-3, will they win the constructors? Unfortunately not. They need 22 more points than McLaren, and if you add up the number of points you get for second and third place, it's 18 for second place, 15 for third place, and that's 33 points. And if you get 25 points for Lando Norris winning the race, that's minus 25. That's only 8 more points. Ferrari are going to need Lando Norris to end up below them. Ferrari are going to need a 1-2, and Norris needs to come in third. And in that situation, Ferrari may win the constructors, but it's still up in the air. Leclerc sends one to the inside of Pierre Gasly. Pierre Gasly doesn't fight it too much. He knows that at this point in time, Leclerc is going to be the faster driver. He's got the DRS on Leclerc. He's in fact gaining on him towards turn number 9. Does Gasly make a late lunge? No, he doesn't. And yeah, if we currently look at the point standing, for McLaren are gaining 27 points and Ferrari are gaining 26. But once all the everything filters through, it's still not going to look that much better for Ferrari, unfortunately. Yeah, Ferrari essentially need Lando to bin it, or them to have a super slow pit stop, or something needs to happen like that. Yeah. Okay, if George Russell comes into the pits now, he'll lose 22 seconds and he will come out behind Leclerc and Gasly. However, if he stays out on his medium tyres for maybe 2, 3, 4 more laps, then what will happen is that Leclerc and Gasly will have older hard tyres, Russell will have fresh hard tyres, and Russell will be able to re-overtake them. So I think Mercedes are going for the overcut here with George Russell, and they're going to stay out for a little bit longer, come out on fresh hards, while the rest of the drivers will have maybe 5-10 lap old hard tyres, and that will be their strategy to try and get up onto the podium. All right. Lawson into the pits again. Is that a second pit stop for Liam Lawson? I don't know what's going on there for him. But the Ferrari pit crew's out. So Carlos Sainz comes into the pits. The gap before he came into the pit lane was 3.8 seconds. So now he's got to have an absolutely mega outlap, and he's got to try and undercut Lando Norris. However, Norris has been told over the radio Sainz is into the pits, and he's been told to push. And they've said over the radio, Carlos has pitted, so we will box this lap. Norris is coming into the pits as well. McLaren know what they're doing, and they're not going to get undercut by Ferrari. Sainz comes out in clear air, and we'll see if he can gain some time on the McLaren. But this is it. This is down on the McLaren pit crew. If they make a mistake, any sort of mistake, then what is going to happen is that Carlos Sainz is going to take the lead of this race. So the Constructors' Championship basically relies on the McLaren mechanics doing a good pit stop here. So here comes Lando Norris through turn number 9. He'll be doing the standard pit stop procedure, braking just before entering the pit box, and then it's all down to the mechanics. Andy J, thank you for the donation. Thanks for the great commentary this year. Thanked on Patreon too. Very much is appreciated. Cheers for helping out, mate. It is fantastic. All right, so here comes Lando Norris. The McLaren pit crew look ready. They've got their hard tyres, and they are waiting. Norris comes into the pit lane, and the 70 km/h speed limit. There's box for George Russell as well. Norris goes into the pits. They pick up his car on the jacks. They replace all 4 tyres. It's a seamless pit stop for the McLaren pit crew. I think it's 1.9 seconds for Lando Norris. It was super duper quick. And 2.0 seconds for Lando Norris. He comes out of the pits. What's it going to be? How far ahead of Carlos Sainz is he? The gap is, I think, 3 seconds, 4 seconds. A quick pit stop for George Russell as well. Thank you for the $2 donation again, Exoteric. George Russell, the tyre whisperer, indeed. 2.4 second pit stop for Russell. He comes out after 27 laps on the mediums. And look at that gap. Sainz gained so much time. Purple first sector for Carlos Sainz, and this is his opportunity. If he's going to overtake Lando Norris, if Ferrari are going to win the constructors, it's all now down to Carlos Sainz, the driver who's leaving Ferrari at the end of this year. And they tell Charles Leclerc plan C, and Leclerc says that's a bit optimistic. So I don't know if plan C is doing a one stop, because 38 laps on hard tyres is going to be definitely optimistic, and we'll have to wait and see. We've got George Russell versus Pierre Gasly. The gap is 1/10 of a second as they go down into turn number 7. What's it going to be? Gasly defends against Russell, and I think Russell now is going to set up a maneuver into turn number 9. However, Gasly gets fantastic traction. Russell does so as well. The DRS has been enabled, and 330 Ks as he sends one to the inside at turn number 9, and there is absolutely nothing Pierre Gasly can do about that one. No amount of late braking could have saved him. And fastest lap of the race there from Carlos Sainz. Let's add one to the tally, and he was fastest lap of the race, but Lando was still quicker in the final sector, and the gap has gone up to 2 seconds. It was previously 1.6 as he came out of the pit lane. All right. Colapinto's into the pits again. I think that's going to be a second stop, and then he's going to go to the end of the race. But maximum attack now from Carlos Sainz, and he's going to try and catch up to Norris. Okay, Verstappen still on those medium tyres, 27 laps he's done on those mediums, and he's going to have to come into the pits to serve a 10-second time penalty, which is really going to hurt him, and he'll come out probably, where's that going to put him? It's going to put him probably in 10th position, 9th position or something, so not ideal there for Max. I think Max is waiting for a safety car, just hoping that something happens so a safety car comes out, and then he can serve his 10-second penalty under the safety car conditions, which will hurt him a lot less. But the drivers are pretty spread out as in this moment in time, so not looking good. Ferrari in this current, if it ends this way, Ferrari gained 29 points in the Constructors, McLaren gained 26, and McLaren would go on to become World Constructors Champions. Right. Also, folks, I'd like to let you know that Kevin Magnussen now has reached lap number 22 of this race. Well, he's gone past lap number 22. We're on lap number 29. But that now means Kevin Magnussen has driven 50,000 kilometers in Formula One races. And just to put that in perspective, he could drive around the world He could drive around the world 1.25 times in 50,000 kilometers. So yeah, K-Mag has done 50,000 kilometers of Formula One racing and has driven around the circumference of the Earth 1.25 times. Incredible. And another statistic for you, Oscar Piastri has completed every single racing lap of this season. Not a DNF, not a crash, nothing. And he is, if he finishes this race on the lead lap, he will have completed every single Formula One racing lap of this season, only previously done by Michael Schumacher, Lewis Hamilton, and Max Verstappen. So Piastri could be joining a very, very exclusive club there. Okay, someone's under investigation. Liam Lawson under investigation for an unsafe release. We'll see what happens there. Okay. Lewis Hamilton in 4th position, cruising along. A 10-second stop-go penalty for Liam Lawson, releasing in an unsafe condition. It seemed like, this was the reason why Lawson had 2 pit stops. No, there was something wrong with the first pit stop, and that's why Lawson had to come back into the pits, and he got released in an unsafe condition. I don't know if that meant his tyre wasn't attached properly or what, but the 10-second stop-go to add insult to injury. Colapinto's retired from this race. Very, very unfortunate indeed, and I have a feeling that Lawson might retire as well. A 10-second stop go is huge. Verstappen finally comes into the pits. They're waiting for 10 seconds now before they start to touch his car, and there we go. They do a quick pit stop there, 3.5 second pit stop for Verstappen. Add on another 10 seconds for his time penalty, and he comes out now in 10th or 11th place. All right. So Hamilton up into 30, still yet to come into the pits. The only driver yet to come into the pits, but he was also the only driver to start the race on the hard tyres. If Hamilton comes into the pits now, where is that going to put him out? So let's just add 22 seconds to where his current time is. That's going to put him in 8th or 9th position for Hamilton when he comes into the pits. All right. Verstappen says, "Could we ask for 20 seconds, stupid idiots?" I don't know what he means by that. But I think he's just annoyed about the penalty, really. Yeah. He's super duper annoyed. I mean, we've just got the replay here, so let's have a look. So Verstappen, he's gaining go on Piastri into turn number 1. He sends one to the inside, and I don't know, Piastri kind of left him. There was more than enough room on the inside, but Verstappen really wasn't going towards the inside. Oh, DRS has been disabled. There's a yellow flag. Oh, that's been cleared up. Okay. Is that someone going slowly? Oh, Bottas is going slowly. Oh, no. Bottas on his final Formula... Has he got damage? Yeah, his front wing is damaged. Bottas's front wing damaged. He's driving slowly. He's got a puncture. Front right tyres punctured for Valtteri Bottas. Is this going to be a virtual safety car, or is this going to be a safety car? This could be the safety car that Hamilton needs. And... we'll see. We'll keep an eye out for a potential safety car. Bottas was trying to defend against Kevin Magnussen. He locks up his tyres. There's a double lockup and, spins Kevin Magnussen around, damages his front wing, gets a puncture on his front right tyre. And, I think a race to forget there for Valtteri Bottas. Just a huge double lockup for him. And K-Mag's into the pits as well. I think he's got a little bit too much damage after that. Very, very unfortunate. And yeah, K-Mag just comes over the radio, says, "Isn't that effing great?" It looks like his suspension's damaged there for K-Mag, but there is debris on the track, so maybe they'll call a safety car. I don't know. Oh, K-Mag comes out of the pits, actually. I was expecting him to retire the car, but no, he's coming out. He's staying out, so he's out on soft tyres. I don't know what he's doing on softs. There are 27 laps left of this race. Is he just going to set a fastest lap and then retire and then come into the pits? Is that what he's doing? Let's have a look. I don't know. I don't know what K-Mag's doing. Okay. Bottas is clearly helping Hamilton. Maybe. I think that's a little bit far-fetched. I think Bottas made a pretty clear mistake of a double lockup. Verstappen, fastest lap there. I'm not going to add him to the list, actually. I think we haven't actually had that many fastest laps overall. But I don't think they can fix Bottas's car. Yeah, they are retiring Valtteri Bottas, folks. Very, very unfortunate indeed. And that's a very bad way to end his potential last race in Formula 1. I think we'll see Valtteri Bottas back on the grid. Yeah, right. We'll see what K-Mag's doing as well on soft tyres. Is he just going to try and set a fastest lap? I don't know. Okay. Thank you for the donation. Thank you for the service the whole season. Gonna miss your commentary quite a bit. Love from Hong Kong. Thank you very much for the huge donation, 100 Hong Kong dollars. Incredible. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure commentating to you guys as well, and it's incredible that we've got so many people watching from all around the world. And yeah, thank you for the donation. All right, the sun has started to set. The sky has turned orange. It's gone orange for the papaya drivers. It looks like McLaren are going to win the constructors. We've still got half the race left to go. Piastri's made his way back up into the points. He comes into the pits now for his second pit stop. He's got a 10-second time penalty to serve, which is going to drop him pretty far back. I think Kevin Magnussen is going for fastest lap. He's going to set the fastest lap and then retire from Formula 1. I think that's the plan. Fastest in the first sector, and the McLaren crew are waiting now, waiting for the 10-second timer to go up before they start touching Piastri's tyres. There we go. and 2.6-second pit stop for Lance Stroll, and a 3.4-second pit stop for Piastri, and a 10-second penalty to go with. So Piastri comes out 15th place, and Kevin Magnussen, he's out on the soft tyres, purple in the middle sector as well. I think he might, I think he's definitely getting this fastest lap. Max Verstappen currently holds it at 1:28.088, but Kevin Magnussen, who's been a fantastic driver for the Haas team, he's been with Haas 7 out of the 9 years that Haas has been a Formula 1 team. He comes across the line, destroys the fastest lap by Max Verstappen by 0.8 of a second. Purple in all 3 sectors is Kevin Magnussen, and nicely done. All right. Brilliant from K-Mag. Okay, up at the front of the race, Hamilton still going strong. 33 laps he's done on those hard tyres, and he seems to be not coming into the pits anytime soon, so maybe there's hope for Charles Leclerc. He could be able to extend his stint, do 38 laps on the hards, and go to the end of the race. All right. Let me know what your predictions are, folks. Who do you think is going to end up on the podium, and also who is going to be your driver of the day? I've honestly got to say it's got to be Charles Leclerc for me. Started the race in 19th, up into 4th right now, and when Hamilton pits, he's going to be 3rd position. We're just watching the replay here. So many overtakes from the opening lap of Charles Leclerc, just round the outside, down the inside, down the main straight, just simply lovely from him. Yeah. All right. Here we are, the lap number 35 of 58. Some fantastic racing and some fantastic overtaking we've seen from Charles Leclerc all season long. Oh, thank you, Edison, for the donation. Love from Taiwan. Love your commentary. That is very much appreciated, buddy, and thank you very much. All right, we've got Lewis Hamilton into the pits after doing 34 laps on the medium tyres. He comes into the pits, puts on a set of hards, and he's going to be going to the end of the race. 2.5-second pit stop for him. And Hamilton, where is he going to come out? I think it's going to be 8th place as Alonso comes down the main straight. Hamilton leaves the pit lane exit, and it's going to be very, very close between those two drivers. In fact, Verstappen, is he getting close to Hamilton as well? Oh, it's super tight here. Hamilton versus Alonso. Into turn number 5 they go. Hamilton sends one to the inside, and he's just got that place. But Alonso, I don't know if he's gonna make this one easy. Alonso always loves a good fight. He goes in for a late apex as well. Does Fernando Alonso? He opens his DRS flap as they head towards turn number 6, and here comes Fernando Alonso against Lewis Hamilton, just like they were 14 years ago. Oh no, not even 17 years ago. Hamilton to the inside, and very late defensive maneuver there from Hamilton, but I think fair enough. Alonso wasn't really side by side. All right. Wow. And yeah, Hamilton gets so much better traction out of turn number 7, it's not even funny. And he's basically said bye-bye to Alonso, because Alonso's tyres are 22 lap old hard tyres. Hamilton's on fresh mediums. Verstappen, however, he's putting some pressure on Alonso, and we'll see if Alonso gives Verstappen a bit of a hard time to get past him. Okay. Here we go then. Yeah, I don't know why K-Mag is on hard tyres though, because he's on softs and they're not going to last to the end of the race. So is he just going to come in and do another lap on soft tyres and then do another faster lap or something? Like, it doesn't really make that much sense. But yeah, FL is fastest laps, folks. So we're just counting like how many fastest laps all the drivers have got. I should add K-Mag, but it's not really going to matter that much. And yeah, Ferrari are currently gaining 33 points in the Constructors, and McLaren are gaining 25. If Lando Norris, for whatever reason, makes a mistake, if Carlos Sainz gains 3 seconds in the next 23 laps, then the Constructors' battle is up in the air. Max Verstappen gets DRS on Fernando Alonso, gets the overtake done way before the braking zone of turn number 6, and Verstappen's up into 8th place, and Alonso's down into 9th. Okay. Is it enough for Ferrari? Unfortunately not. A 2-3 is still not enough for them. Let me calculate if a 1-3 with Lando Norris in second is enough. Oh, Lando Norris, a 1-3 with... Oh, okay. If Norris finishes in second and Ferrari finishes... And if Sainz finishes in first, they'll win the championship by 1 point. A 1-3 would work. So it's all down to Carlos Sainz, isn't it? Carlos Sainz has got to gain 3 seconds on Lando Norris, and he's got to win. And then Ferrari win the constructors. But of course, that is Piastri. That's if Piastri can't get back up into the points. If we have a look at the gap there, Piastri is 76 seconds behind the leaders, is behind 76 seconds behind Norris, and Albon is 56 seconds behind. So Piastri's got to gain 20 seconds of lap time in the next 22 laps if he's going to, if he's going to score any points. So yeah, that seems unlikely. It seems a lot more likely that Sainz could catch up to Norris. Here we go then. Lando, a Ferrari 1-3 with a Lando in P2 and fastest lap. That will tie them on points, I'm pretty sure, and that will tie them on points. However, I think because Ferrari will have more race wins than McLaren overall in the entire season, Ferrari will win it. Yeah, Ferrari will win, even with Lando getting fastest lap. So I think so. Yeah, okay. Oh, also, we've hit 122k. That's fantastic, folks. Just keep subscribing. Keep hitting the like button as well. We've got 40,000 people, 38,000 people watching the live stream. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. And we are 20 laps away from the end of the Formula 1 season. Please add K-Mag to the... You know what? Yeah, I'll add K-Mag to the fastest lap list because given it is his last race, K-Mag FL... All right, Alonso comes into the pits now. Ooh, this could help out Piastri here. Piastri, he's got to gain some time on drivers ahead of him. However, if the drivers ahead of him come into the pits, then Piastri could score some points. So we'll have to wait and see. But this championship is going right down to the wire now. The gap at the front, though, it's not getting any smaller. Is Norris going to encounter traffic anytime soon? No. He's got Oscar Piastri ahead of him, and... he's already lapped K-Mag and Lawson quite a while ago, so I don't think traffic's going to be an issue that's gonna turn the tide of the championship either. Isn't it a good idea if Carlos crashes into Lando to make Charles P1 and win the championship? I guess that theoretically works, but I don't think they'll be particularly happy about that. So I don't know what will happen there. All right, what engine do Haas use? Do they use Ferrari? Yeah, they use Ferrari. All right. Oh, thank you for being a member, Sody Pop. That is appreciated. And yeah, I will. Yeah, I think I've already shouted out most of the Patreons, but yeah, thank you, Sody Pop as well. I don't think you're on my list, so I'll redo the list over the season break. Yeah, we've got George Russell purple in the first sector. He's looking like he's trying to catch up to Charles Leclerc. The gap is only 4 seconds, so it's not out of question there. But he's only got 2 lap. He's got 2 lap older tyres, in fact, compared to Leclerc. Sorry, not 2 lap old. He's got 6 lap fresher tyres compared to Leclerc. But yeah, that's going to be a tough one to get done. Right. Oh, I could raise both subscriber goals. Why not? Since we are at that last race of the season, we've hit our like goal already. So let's just put that to like 8,000. Why not? And we'll put the subscriber goal to, let's see, 125. I mean, that's totally unreachable, I'm pretty sure. But why not set it as that? Right. Piastri's got DRS on do, and he's up into, I think he can get that overtake done and go up into 13th place. That will be very nice for him. Right. Oh, they've said. They've come over the radio to Norris saying, "Do you think you would pass Sainz if you came out on fresh tires?" What? Okay. Do you think you would pass Sainz on new tires if he stayed out? And Norris has said, "I think so. Yes." I mean, I love the confidence, Lando, but there's only 19 laps left of this race, and if you come into the pits now, you're going to come out alongside Leclerc. And that would mean you have to overtake both Ferraris to win the championship. I mean, that's just unnecessary risk, surely. I mean, do it. It would be fantastic to watch. But unnecessary risk, I think. Zhou comes into the pits 10th now, for his second pit stop, so that's going to promote Piastri up one place further as well. So that will help him out in potentially scoring points. I think I think Albon's also going to pit as well, so that could help Piastri actually. Alonso might then be in 10th place, so we'll see. Hamilton gets an overtake done on Nico Hülkenberg. Nicely done there from Lewis Hamilton, and he's just got fresher tyres really. He's on quick hard tyres, it's no battle, and he'll catch up to Gasly soon enough, and I think he'll end up just behind his teammate George Russell. Okay, yeah, wow. Not fastest lap of the race from Norris. It was an improvement. He's going quicker than his personal best, is Lando Norris. And now all of the McLaren's fans are, they're all biting their fingers, waiting for the end of this race. 18 laps left to go. That's going to be around about 30 minutes, sorry. Alonso is... it's Stroll, sorry. Stroll's battling away with Jack Doohan, and Doohan tries to go round the outside here of Lance Stroll, and what can he do? Can he hold it round the outside just like Pierre Gasly did? No, he backs out of it. But fantastic racing from the rookie so far, and bodes well for next season. Okay, also, folks, if you aren't subscribed, I will be commentating for the whole of next season. I'll be doing pre-season testing. I'll be doing the actual races. I'll be doing the practice sessions. So yeah, if you aren't subscribed, then I'll be commentating for the whole of next year as well. And next season's going to be even better. I mean, this season we've had a close championship battle. It's going down to the final race, and it's going down to potentially the last couple of laps. But, next season with 4 teams potentially going for the constructors, with Leclerc and Hamilton at Mercedes, with Verstappen and maybe Tsunoda, with Norris and Piastri, who are going to be fighting each other for the championship right from race number 1. It is going to be super duper exciting. Yeah. Right. I think that's it, really. McLaren are trying to set fastest lap while in P3 and P10, so they'll win by 1 point. Yes. Well, I guess if they set fastest lap, then I'm not sure. Yeah, they'll need, if they do P2 and fastest lap, and Piastri also gets 10th place, but that's still it's still too risky. Unless there's a safety car, which is one thing that could, if there's a safety car that Norris can't get into the pits but Sainz can, which is a very small window, I must say. There's a 5-second window that the safety car comes out, and Ferrari have to do some quick thinking in that case as well. That's the only situation where Sainz could somehow get ahead of Norris. But yeah, Verstappen fastest in the first sector. Hamilton still gaining. He gets the overtake done on Gasly. Gasly knows that he can't really fight this one. And here we go. All right. So Verstappen, we'll see if he can catch up to Hülkenberg. But Gasly is still in 6th place. And still pretty decent compared to where he started. He started in 5th, and he's only in 6th after everyone else being so much faster than him. Why is Sainz losing so much to Lando? It's just because the McLaren is just straight up faster. We were looking at the race pace in FP2, and the McLarens were 7/10 of a second faster than the Ferraris. And in fact, Leclerc was complaining over the radio, being like, "Oh, these McLarens are so fast." So yeah, the McLarens do have the race pace advantage, and they're using it to stay in the lead. Hamilton has just asked over the radio, how big is the gap ahead? And they reply 14 seconds, and Hamilton's like, 14 seconds, what are you talking about? And then they say, you can do it. And honestly, it is hammer time for Lewis Hamilton, the final hammer time that we're going to see with Lewis at Mercedes. And he sets a purple first sector. It looks like he's going to be trying to catch up to his teammate George Russell. Okay, and Max Verstappen, super late on the brakes, gets ahead of Nico Hulkenberg. Nice overtake there from Max, and he goes up into 7th place. Brilliant job. Black and white flag there for Jack Doohan for track limits. I think Tsunoda's also been given a black and white flag, and Stroll was given a black and white flag earlier. So those 3 drivers are on. If they exceed track limits anymore, then they end up with a 5-second time penalty. Oh, we've got another donation. I hope Lando pits now from Taiwan. Thank you, TKL, for the donation. We'll see if Lando pits, but I think his lap times are looking fairly strong. A 1:28 on the previous lap. Carlos Sainz a 1:27.8, so he gained 0.2 on the previous lap. But yeah, the gap's still at 4.6 seconds with 15 laps left to go. We're going to need something just like Abu Dhabi 2021 to turn this one around. Let's see what happens. Okay. Right, Lando Norris, he's got a little bit of traffic ahead of him. Jack Doohan gets out of the way. Is it Jack Doohan? I think it's Jack Doohan, yeah. Yeah, Jack Doohan gets out of the way for Lando Norris. And we'll see what happens. Hamilton on the previous lap, he goes 0.8 of a second quicker than his teammate George Russell. He's going to try and catch up to him by the end of the race. However, George, I don't think is going to let that one happen. And Piastri still on still in 12th place here of this race, and he's got to overtake Alonso and he's got to overtake Tsunoda. However, look at those gaps there. He's only got to gain 1.1 seconds to Alonso and then 0.8 to Tsunoda, and then he starts scoring points. So this is well within reach. They could secure just one extra point, and that would be enough to help McLaren out. But yeah, we shall wait and see. All right. Wow, 40,000 people tuned into live stream. Thank you everyone for tuning in, by the way. I hope you are enjoying the coverage. And yeah, I must say, what a season this has been. So much action, especially, well, first couple of races, a little bit less action than normal. We had Verstappen domination, but then after that, so many race winners, so many people on the podium, so much action, and great, just a brilliant season, really. I'd rate this season 10 out of 10 for sure. Yeah. All right. Leclerc needs to catch up a little bit to K-Mag to help out, well, to get ahead of Kevin Magnussen, but K-Mag's still on the softs. I don't know how he's done 13 laps on the softs. The soft tyres were not designed to do any sort of racing laps on them. They were solely designed for quali, but somehow K-Mag's doing 13 laps on them. I think he might come into the pits a little bit later and do another fastest lap, just because he can. Yeah. Look at that gap now, 5.2 seconds. It's gone from 4.6 to 5.3, and it's just getting bigger and bigger. And yeah, Verstappen overtakes Gasly. He's up into 6th position is Max Verstappen, and it looks like he's going to stay there till the end of the race. Yeah, we shall wait and see what happens. Alonso's on the back of Tsunoda here, and Piastri's on the back of Alonso. It's going to be a bit of a DRS train here for Piastri if he wants to get up to score some points. Alonso, in fact, sends one to the inside of turn number 9. Brilliant move there from Alonso. Now Tsunoda is under pressure from Oscar Piastri. And Alonso looks like he's going to be driving off into the distance. Oh, a huge snap from Piastri. Huge snap. He manages to keep the car under control though, but he was just tucked right into the back of Tsunoda's car. Loses a bunch of downforce as he was going through turn number 11. The car snaps enormously. He manages to save it though. It's on the same level as what happened to Max Verstappen in quali yesterday, but yeah, incredible. I mean, if there was any gravel there or anything, that would be the race over. But there was runoff, thankfully, and Piastri keeps it going, and he's going to have to chase Yuki Tsunoda back down again. All right, look at those gaps up at the front, though. No one within even 5 seconds of each other. Russell's the closest, 4.3 seconds to Leclerc, but it's been 4.3 seconds for the past 20 laps or something. Leclerc's just been, they've told Leclerc over the radio, let's get back into the rhythm. And Leclerc's like, I don't know what you call rhythm, but this is rhythm. So, yeah, I think Leclerc was complaining a little bit about how K-Mag was holding him up in as traffic, but K-Mag's now let him by, and it should be smooth sailing till the end. I think maybe Guan Yu Zhou might be a bit of an issue, but apart from that, yeah. Bring Latifi to mess up the championship. Well, we'll see. We're still on lap 47. I don't know what lap Latifi crashed, but we'll wait and see what happens. We've still got Stroll on the field, folks. You know, Stroll is still here. There is an opportunity for something to happen. Right. Hamilton once again purple in the first sector on the previous lap, 1 full second faster than his teammate. He is really closing in on George Russell, and we'll see if he can catch up by the end of the race. There are 11 laps remaining and the gap is 9.4 seconds. And Piastri now, well, Piastri, he's still got to overtake Tsunoda, and then he's got to overtake Alonso, and that little mistake has really cost him, because it's cost him time, really. He's going to overtake Tsunoda maybe 2 laps late, and in those 2 laps, Alonso's built a 3-second gap to Tsunoda, so he's going to have to overtake Tsunoda, then close down a 3-second gap, then overtake Alonso, and just to score 1 point. Yeah, I mean, it's one very critical point for the championship, but Piastri now has exceeded track limits 3 times in a row. Well, not in a row, but he's exceeded track limits 3 times, so does it one more time, he'll get a black and white flag. Does it one more time, he'll get a 5-second penalty. And Tsunoda's coming right back at Piastri on this one. With the DRS and the outside line, Piastri can do absolutely nothing, and Tsunoda re-overtakes him going into turn number 9. Brilliant job there from Tsunoda, and Piastri's going to have to get creative on how he overtakes Tsunoda to ensure that he doesn't re-overtake him back into turn number 9. He's going to have to, play some games as he goes through turn number 6 and 7 and mess up Tsunoda's line probably. All right, we've got Stroll. Norris is about to overtake Stroll for traffic. Interesting one there. Also, I don't. Piastri might get lapped by his teammate. I mean, it's not really Piastri's fault. Actually, he got spun around by Verstappen, and then his crash into Colapinto was his fault. So, yeah. But either way, he might get lapped by his teammate, which is not ideal. But we know they're both pretty quick drivers anyway. It's not like Max Verstappen and Sergio Perez. So, yeah. All right. Let me know who your driver of the day is. My driver of the day is most definitely Charles Leclerc. Just sensational driving all around. All of the overtakes, fantastic from him. Yeah, I mean, Lewis Hamilton has also done a brilliant job as well on that alternate strategy. Start on the hards, go on to the mediums. But yeah, my vote goes to Charles Leclerc just for gaining even more positions. He started further down and ended up further up. So. All right, look at that gap at the front. 5.7 seconds is the gap between Norris and Sainz. And, well, it looks like it's not going down. It's just increasing and increasing. Piastri tries to go round the outside of Tsunoda, and he successfully does so. Brilliant move there from Piastri. And honestly, when they changed that corner from the triple chicane to this long sweeping corner, I think that was a fantastic decision. We've seen loads of great overtakes there, and Piastri's now up into 11th. He's got a 5-second gap, though, to catch up to Alonso with 10 laps left to go. And he's not got significantly fresher tyres as well. So we'll just have to wait and see what progress can be made. And if he can score that one final point that McLaren ever so much need, just in the case that if Norris makes a mistake or something. Okay. Lap number 50 of 58, and 9 laps left of this race. Lando Norris gets ahead of Lance Stroll as traffic, and it seems like he's got Tsunoda and Piastri ahead of him for traffic as well, and then it should be smooth sailing till the finish. Norris has come over the radio saying this dirty air is terrible. He's complaining about dirty air again. I mean, what are we, back in 2021? But no, the dirty air has got worse as the regulations have got better, as the regulations have developed and the cars have developed with the regulations. Dirty air is once again back. It's not as strong as it was before, but still noticeable, and the drivers do want others to get out of the way. Right, I'm going to have a quick sip of water, and here we are, lap number 50 of 58. We have got one McLaren in first place, two Ferraris on the podium, and then the Mercs in fourth and fifth. All right. Hamilton still closing the gap to his teammate. 8 laps remain, 6.5 seconds is the gap. I think he'll close up to Russell, however, I don't think he's going to overtake him. It's going to be a little bit difficult to do that. But yeah, both drivers have flipped their strategies essentially. Russell started on the hards, started on the mediums, ended up on the hards. Hamilton started on the hards, ended up on the mediums, and well, Hamilton's gained a lot more time overall, made a lot more overtakes at the start. Russell was a little bit, well, he couldn't really box, he was a bit boxed in, couldn't really go anywhere, so yeah, alright. Who is winning the Constructors' Championship as of this moment in time? It is McLaren winning the Constructors. Yeah, oh, we've got Guan Yu Zhou here trying to overtake Jack Doohan, and oh, he gets very, very close as he goes into turn number 6, but he backs off. He says, oh, I'm not going to overtake you into turn number 6, I'm going to overtake you into turn number 9. He once again reopens that DRS flap as they now head towards turn number 9, and the overspeed is incredible, 320 k's for Guan Yu Zhou. He tries to go around the outside, can't. He looks to the inside, and Doohan's covered that one off as well. Great car placement there from Jack Doohan, and yeah, good defensive work. All right, Stroll's caught up to the back of Tsunoda. So we'll see if Stroll tries to overtake Tsunoda here. Currently for 12th place, and oh, they were going to pit. They were going to pit someone. Okay. Okay, Sainz says, I think I ran over something when I turned in the car. Everything is okay now. Everything is stable. So, and then the Ferrari pit crew came out with a set of soft tyres. I mean, a fastest lap wasn't really going to help them anyway. They're still too many points back. So, yeah, but some sort of... Carlos Sainz thought that he ran over something. We're not sure if he did, though. All right. Stroll sends one to the inside of Yuki Tsunoda, and they're going to fight this one as they go back into turn number 10. Alonso gets ahead of Albon. All right, here they go then. Albon has lost the position, and Yuki Tsunoda goes round the outside of Stroll, and great move there from Tsunoda. We've now once got Zhou trying to attack Doohan once again. This time he's much closer. The DRS is super powerful, and he's once again taking the outside line. Doohan brakes early and decides not to fight this one. Brilliant job. Okay. Yeah, they said Sainz thought he had a puncture. He didn't have a puncture, but yeah, his lap times are a second slower than Norris is at this point in time. It's not great. Not great if we're looking in terms of the Ferrari Championship. Yeah, Zhou attacked Doohan, got it done, and he's 14th place for Guan Yu Zhou. Stroll still trying to overtake Tsunoda here, and Tsunoda is now just waiting for Sainz to catch up, so there's blue flags for Stroll, and Stroll will stop attacking him. All right, lap number 53 of 58, 6 laps remain of this race, and yeah, a couple more drivers getting their lap times deleted for exceeding track limits. Turn number 1 is the biggest culprit, really. Loads of drivers exceeding track limits at turn number 1. But, yeah. Why don't Merc just swap positions? I mean, why would they swap positions? Russell is the faster driver on paper. He was faster in quali. I know it's Hamilton's last race, but does Hamilton really care about 4th place anyway? I don't think so. Yeah. K-Mag also, I've got to give K-Mag props. He's got the fastest lap of the race, which is brilliant, but he's somehow managed to drive the soft tyres for 21 laps, which is incredible because the soft tyres are at max meant to do about 5 or 7 laps limit. And K-Mag has done 21 laps, so brilliant job from him. And his pace is still fairly decent. He's going quicker than Jack Doohan ahead of him, and yeah, he's on old softs. Okay, 5 laps left to go. 24% of the people have voted for Charles Leclerc as driver of the day, 18% as Lewis Hamilton, and 11% as Lando Norris. Piastri gets DRS here on Alex Albon. This is for the points, and Piastri does get ahead of Alex Albon. Albon tries to fight it, but Piastri's too far ahead. Piastri is scoring points now, and McLaren... well, he's come back to save the day for McLaren, and just in case if there's a mistake or something happens to Lando Norris if he gets a puncture. Yeah. Okay. Here we go then. Wow, we've got 40,000 people tuned into the live stream. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Hope you are enjoying the coverage. What a fantastic way to end out the season. Hamilton once again fastest first sector. Honestly, we shouldn't have a fastest lap count. We should have a Hamilton fastest first sector count. He's just been breaking the fastest first sector time every single time. And he's slowly but surely caught up to his teammate. 3 seconds is the gap with 5 laps left to go. All right. And they... Albon lets Norris by, and as they go into turn number 1, Norris may lap his teammate, which is not ideal there, but you know, if they're still scoring points and winning the constructors, do they care? Not really. In fact, the other thing that I do want to keep in mind here is that Piastri, his record, the record that I said earlier that Piastri would finish every single lap of this race, if he finished every single lap of this race, he finishes every single lap of this season. That also includes him not getting lapped. So if Piastri gets lapped, he doesn't get the record. So ideally Piastri shouldn't get lapped so he can get that record. Leclerc's just come over the radio asking how far is Carlos from Lando. They say 7.5 seconds. Leclerc just swears. And honestly, you know, you get his frustration. The gap was 1.6 as they came out of the pits, but it's just been creeping up and up and up. And Ferrari are gaining 33 points in the constructors. McLaren, however, at this moment in time, are gaining 26. That will put McLaren a total of 666 points for the World Constructors' Championship. A bit of a nice number there, isn't it? 666. All right. Okay. Norris do not lap Piastri. Yeah, we'll see if Norris does. I mean, they're both in McLarens. Piastri technically has the fresher tyres compared to Norris, so their lap times should be fairly similar. But if we have a look at the lap times, Norris are 127.6, Piastri are 127.7. There's not that much of a difference, really. But if Piastri does get the blue flags waved at him, he does have to slow down and let Norris by. So we'll see. Okay. This is it, folks. 3 laps left to go of the 2024 Formula 1 season. All right. Hope you guys have enjoyed the season. It's been a brilliant one, and I'm predicting next one to be even better. And normally I end my streams pretty quick after the race finishes. This time I'm going to stick around a little bit. We'll watch some of the burnouts and stuff, and then I'll stick around for 15-20 minutes, and then I'll end the stream a little bit later than normal. All right. Stroll gets the overtake done on Yuki Tsunoda. Nicely done there. And as they go into turn number 12, Stroll seals the deal, and he gets that 12th place. Fantastic. F1 Gamer Hamilton is really catching up to George. Look at that gap, 1.5 seconds. Hamilton is on 22 lap old mediums, Russell's on 29 lap old hards, both of them pretty old tyres, but Hamilton seems to have the pace. He's still lapping 1 second faster than George Russell. Now I don't know if Russell is, keeping some battery saved up for this moment, but they've come over the radio saying, George stating the obvious, keep it super clean with Lewis, and they were like, and yeah, he said, yeah, good job, boss. Oh, he said, yeah, boss. So yeah, hopefully Russell and Lewis don't crash into each other, and do a Spain 2016 moment. But did someone exceed track limits there? I don't know. Did Hamilton exceed track limits? We'll see. I'll come through on the messages in a moment. Do you think, is it over for Ferrari? I think it might just be over. K-Mag comes into the pits. Is he going to be retiring from this race? I'm not sure. Is he coming in for a fresh set of softs to set another fastest lap? We'll wait and see. But Hamilton now within DRS of George Russell. We could get a final lap overtake here between the two teammates. I would like to point this out, folks. Both Lewis Hamilton and George Russell, while they have been teammates, both of them have scored 685 points. They are tied on points as teammates going into this race. So whoever finishes further ahead will have more points during their stint as teammates. So let's wait and see what Hamilton can do. 4/10 is the gap, and Lando Norris, in fact, starts the final lap of this race. Oh, a yellow flag in Sector 2. Who's that going slowly? Lawson's going slowly. They're going to disable DRS because of that. That is not going to help Lewis Hamilton out. Lawson stopped on the side of the road. DRS has been disabled. And Hamilton, he's only got turn number 9 now to get this overtake done. Yellow's ahead. And we're on the final lap of the race. Here we go then. The track is clear. DRS has been re-enabled. Oh, it's been re-enabled. Lawson is pushing the car off the side of the road. The yellow flag's gone. DRS has been re-enabled. Here is George Russell versus Lewis Hamilton. They've just said DRS is enabled to Russell. It's been re-enabled. I don't know if he knows that. But here they go. Lewis Hamilton, he is gaining on his teammate for the final lap of this Grand Prix. What can he do? Can he get that move done? He is gaining and gaining. It's turn number 9. If he can get the overtake done then that would be fantastic. But now all eyes turn to Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri. The two McLarens are coming across the start-finish line just now. Piastri starting the final lap of the race. Lando Norris sees the checkered flag. McLaren win the Constructors. What a drive from him. Carlos Sainz in second place. And can Hamilton get the move done on George Russell going into turn number 9? Hamilton on the outside, Russell to the inside, and Hamilton just gets it done on the final lap of the race. He gets ahead of his teammate and gets 4th place. Wow. Charles Leclerc comes across the line in 3rd place, Hamilton in 4th to end out his career at Mercedes, and then we have George Russell in 5th. Thank you for the donation, Nicholas. And now the driver in 6th place. Since the turn of the 2000s, we have had 3 fantastic drivers in Formula 1 who've gone on to win multiple championships. We've had Michael Schumacher, we've had Sebastian Vettel, we've had Lewis Hamilton, and it's time now to make that list to 4. Max Verstappen, champion of the world. He has won it 4 times in a row. What a drive from him all season long. And simply lovely, as he would put it. Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri win the Constructors' Championship. We've got Kevin Magnussen, who's setting the fastest lap of the race to end off his career in Formula 1. And what a season this has been. Wow. McLaren break their Constructors. They've won 26 years onwards. McLaren win their Constructors' Championship again. Simply lovely. And there we go. K-Mag comes across the line to end the race, and gets the fastest lap as well. Wow, what a season this has been. A 5-second time penalty just to end the season off with Lance Stroll for track limits. Yeah, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. McLaren are Constructors' World Champions, and Ferrari are in 2nd place. Red Bull in 3rd, and we've got Red Bull in 3rd. Mercedes in 4th, Aston in 5th, and then we've got Alpine in 6th, Haas in 7th, RB in 8th, Williams in 9th, and Kick Sauber in 10th. All right. Yeah, Lewis closed the 14-second gap and then got the overtake done on the last lap of the race. Simply lovely, really. Yeah. Oh, wow. Huge radio messages here to Pierre Gasly. But yeah, they've turned the season around, have Alpine. So did Sauber right at the very end. They managed to get some pace out of nowhere. And, Stephen McIntyre, thank you for the donation. Good end to the season. Thanks for covering the races. Very much is appreciated, Stephen. And thank you everyone that has donated all season long. All of the donations are very much appreciated. And, all of the lovely messages in the chat and the comments and, the likes and the subscribers, everything is fantastic, really. A little bit lost for words. Thank you, Mark, for becoming a YouTube member. Next year will be Ferrari's year, I think. After so many years of trying, Ferrari actually have a good shot at the constructors next year. And they have two fantastic drivers, Charles Leclerc and Lewis Hamilton. So we'll see what happens. For McLaren, though, they're on an upward trajectory. They've got two super fast drivers as well, Lando Norris, Oscar Piastri. Both are getting quicker day by day. Red Bull are looking to recover from their downfall. Can they once again be the fastest car on the grid next year? And Mercedes as well. Their upward trajectory has been a little bit unsteady and rocky at times, but they come across the line in 4th and 5th today as clearly the 3rd fastest team, but not by a small margin. By a very small margin, sorry. So we'll see what happens. We'll probably be getting some donuts soon enough. Is this Lewis Hamilton here as he comes down the start-finish straight? He lines himself up at the side, and we see that V6 turbo revving away, and we're getting some donuts here from Lewis Hamilton. Absolutely fantastic. Fantastic way to end out his time at Mercedes. Oh, we've got more donations. Tino, thank you for the donation. And someone else has joined the YouTube members. That is appreciated. Wow. Thank you very, very much. And Lando Norris wins the race. And yeah, fantastic. Kurzmova, thank you for the donation once again. Thank you very, very much. And Hamilton's just taking everything in now. He is that is the end of his time at Mercedes, an end of an era, really. Zach Brown is so pleased and so over the moon that he's won the Constructors. And here they go. Lando Norris, fantastic drive, nail-biting drive till the very end. We're gonna miss Kevin, Joe, Bottas. Fortunately, they're leaving us at the end of the season. We'll see if they can make their way back to the Formula One paddock in 2026. All right, Hamilton's waving away, and that's the end of the season, folks. Incredible. What an incredible season this has been. Who's going to replace Perez at Red Bull? I think it's going to be Tsunoda, but we'll wait for the perfect announcement. We'll wait for the announcement from Red Bull. All right. Hamilton was asking over the radio if he's going to get disqualified for doing donuts, and I think someone just said if you get disqualified, it's still worth it. Hamilton really doesn't care, and I think he should be fine. Yeah, no more C squared at Ferrari. It's going to be Carlos going to Williams and Charles staying at Ferrari. All right. Who won the Constructors? McLaren win the Constructors title, yeah. All right, folks. I'm gonna do a bit of a summary of the season. Thank you for the donation, C. Paul. Great year. Keep up the good work. Yeah, appreciate having you here, buddy. Hope to see you around for next year as well. Who's going to be racing Bulls 2025? We don't know yet. We do not know who is it going to be. We'll just wait and see, really. They'll do the announcement soon enough. Once they announce Sergio Perez is getting fired and then they announce the rest of the drivers, we'll see who is going to be there. Driver of the day, Charles Leclerc, 29% of the vote for him. And started 19th, finished 3rd. And this is his 13th podium of the season. But he looks a little bit down. And, he would be. He did not win the Constructors' title for Ferrari. There was not much he could have done. Starting in 19th, it was Carlos Sainz's job to try and catch up to Norris. He had a fantastic outlap and he was 1.6 seconds away, but ever since then the gap was just getting bigger and bigger and there was nothing that Sainz could do. Right, thank you. Thank you for the commentary for this season. Yeah, thank you very much for you guys tuning in. It's been a pleasure commentating to you guys. Yeah, Lando Norris did get second in the Drivers' Championship. Leclerc got 3rd. I think Sainz did Sainz overtake Piastri in the Drivers' Championship? I will have a double check. Alpine got 6th in the Constructors. Yeah, that is correct. Oh, Sainz doesn't know. Sainz is 2 points behind Oscar Piastri in the standing. So Piastri gets 4th place in the drivers, and Sainz gets 5th. Yeah. All right, 2 points shy. Yeah. All right. Yeah, what a season this has been. Once again, I'd like to say thank you for the donations. It's been incredible. Thank you for all the support, all the Patreon members, all the lovely messages in the chat, and it's been a brilliant season. We've had donuts from Lewis Hamilton. I don't think any other drivers did any donuts. I'm surprised Verstappen didn't, but I guess he's in 6th place and wasn't particularly happy. But I don't know. I think he did donuts in Vegas, when he won. So I think it's fine. Lewis definitely did do donuts. And yeah, am I going to be doing F1 testing? Oh, you can bet I will be doing F1 testing. I've already set up the stream for F1 testing, the 26th of February. It's 80 days away. Yeah, 80 days till the start of F1 testing. Is Kevin racing in Audi in 26? No, it's Nico Hulkenberg who will be racing with Audi next year. Yeah, the donuts in Vegas stay in Vegas. Pre-season testing is in Bahrain. 80 days is crazy. Yeah, that is 11 and a bit weeks till pre-season testing. A very long time. Yeah, 80 days. What are you going to do till then? I mean, you could go around the world in 80 days. I'm pretty sure that's a book, I think. But yeah, no, that's not even related really. But all right, we're going to see a fantastic fight for the championship next year. I must say, what are we? Yeah, next year. I mean, look at this. Norris and Piastri, I think Piastri's going to improve a lot over the off-season, and we're going to have a much closer battle in qualifying than the race between Norris and Piastri. We know Leclerc and Hamilton are two fantastic, super fast drivers, and we're going to have battles between them. We also know that McLaren, Mercedes, Red Bull, and Ferrari are all on an upward trajectory. They're all converging on a very similar level of car performance. And George Russell, the number 1 at Mercedes, Verstappen, the number 1 at Red Bull. And so those two drivers with, their respective number 2s, which might be Kimi Antonelli for Russell and maybe Tsunoda for Verstappen. That is going to be a super, super duper interesting fight. 6 drivers potentially going for the World Drivers' Championship. I don't know about Tsunoda, I don't know about Kimi Antonelli, but maybe that'll turn it into 8, depending on how they perform. So yeah, thank you everyone for commentating. Once again, thank you for our mods as well. OG Ninja, MCG, Kiez, and a lot more of a couple of the mods that aren't here as well. Our mods have done a fantastic job keeping the chat under control. I'll start enabling snow mode a lot more. And yeah, Kevin is leaving Haas. He's done 7 years at Haas. Haas have been an F1 team for 9 years. Kevin Magnussen has been a driver for Haas for 7 of those 9. Yeah, so we'll see what. Yeah, he's going to move to endurance racing. I think that's where Kevin Magnussen's dad made his that's where Kevin Magnussen's dad made his name in endurance racing. I think K-Mag's going to move to WEC. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thank you everyone for all of the lovely messages in the chat. I think I'll probably end the stream in a minute or two. But once again, in fact, I think I'm going to end the stream and I'll redirect you to the testing stream. So yeah, go ahead, press the like button on the testing stream for 80 days in advance. But honestly, I've got to say, every one of you that have hit the like button on the future streams, so like when I redirect you guys to the next weekend's race and you hit the like button, that has been the biggest help to the channel. That's like one little trick that I've essentially learned of the YouTube algorithm, that if you have likes on a live stream before the stream starts, it does absolute wonders for your channel. And yeah, every single one of you that have done that have hugely helped out the channel. I mean, that's part of the reason why we've gone from 58k subs all the way up to 122k subs. I mean, we've doubled the amount of subscribers in a year, which is crazy. We've hit 100k. We've got the silver play button. Yeah. So yeah, everyone that's gone ahead and hit the like button in advance for streams, hugely helped out, and a big, very big thank you to all of you. Yeah, I think that's the end from me, really. There's not much more to add. A fantastic season with so many records broken, about so many drivers winning races, so many drivers we've had so many times where drivers set the exact same lap time in qualifying. Yeah, it's been brilliant. So thank you everyone. Cheers for tuning in for the season. It's been an absolute pleasure commentating to you guys. Have a wonderful morning, day, afternoon, evening or night, depending on where you are in the world. And I will see you in 80 days for pre-season testing for Formula 1 in 2025. Bye-bye.